Sports presents Benning Bites with Damon Benning. Benning Bites with Damon Benning.
Another episode of Benning Bites. We are back. Well, I guess I am. There is no we. Hey, fantastic conversation we had yesterday, and I'm just curious to get your thoughts. Andrew and I went back and forth, and I don't think we really arrived at a common place. I think we're on opposite ends of the spectrum, and when we were talking to Sam McKewon yesterday, he said something interesting as well. He said, yeah, I definitely think there's a couple more wins on the roster for Nebraska basketball. We had gone back and forth yesterday. Nebraska basketball, what to do, what not to do, back and forth. And Andrew and I didn't really rest in a spot. And Sam came on and he dropped a little chicken nugget, a bite, a morsel, if you will. He said, yeah. I think Drew Don asked him, what do you see for wins, right? And you guys know how I hate the whole pick a win on the schedule kind of thing. But question was posed, Sam answered. He said, I see a couple more. And then at the very end of the interview, and if you haven't heard it, go back and check it out. He said, I could see a scenario in which Nebraska finished 14-16. And I go, wow. I said, if Nebraska, and I'm cheering for Coach Hoiberg, if Nebraska finishes 14-16, there's nothing to talk about. He's back in 2024, and there's zero questions asked, right? And I had to think about that for a second. Is it based on how we thought he would finish and then he didn't? Or do we think 14-16 is a good record? Is it both? Is it independent of what he's had to deal with? Because I don't want to rationalize not winning. Right? He hasn't been to a postseason basketball tournament yet. Doc Sadler pulled that off. Barry Collier pulled that off. Tim Miles pulled that off. Like, are we rationalizing it? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's relative. Like, maybe it's we thought something coming into the season. Then they got hot. We thought something else. And then they got hurt. And so now we're reconciling something else. If Nebraska finished 14-16, a losing record, would we be impressed? I say yes. Should I reconcile that in my head or not apologize for it or what? I don't know. HBO, man, help a brother out. 888-638-4876. Am I crazy? First of all, can they even get to 14-16? And if they do, does that change the outlook with a losing record? 2 weeks ago, we said, are there two more wins on the schedule? And they beat Penn State. As a dog, at home. That dog will hunt. I don't know. There's a ton. Make sure you join the show. It's Coffee and Cream with my man Andrew Rogers. He's at Andrew Rogers TV. He's the easy one to find because he's got the blue check mark. And you can get me at Damon Benning. That's easy. ODB. However you get us. Google, Apple, Spotify. Make sure you get us downloaded. Get those podcasts. We do have an announcement to make. I hope to be able to make it this week. Tease, perhaps? Maybe. We'll see how it goes. It's a nugget. Just a little sample. A bite, if you will. It's mine. It's Benning Bites.